As we head south along Route 20 over the Targhee Pass from Montana into Idaho, it's hard to imagine that tomorrow, June 15th, opening day for fly fishing in Harriman State Park, also known as the Railroad Ranch, will not be impacted by the weather. Having to change our plans of fly fishing and filming in Yellowstone due to a rare tropical warm front triggering unimaginable flooding, my daughter Megan and I now find ourselves on the opposite end of the weather spectrum: cold winds and snowing. Thankfully, the ominous-looking clouds appeared to be moving north, with the weather clearing up as we drove south on Route 20 into Last Chance, Idaho.
What river is that?
It's a Snake River. It's the Henry's Fork. That's one of the restaurants. Henry's Fork Anglers. That's a really good place too. Just up here we can just pull in and go in and check to see what the river looks like. Because it's normally really wide here, so you can't judge by that. No one can fish right now from some point here down. As you can see, the boys are collecting. I wonder if they get overnight. No overnight camping.
The irony is that Megan actually wanted to skip out of Yellowstone for opening day at the Railroad Ranch, knowing that fly fishermen and women from all around North America gather here the night before opening day, a tradition Megan imagined might be a big party like pre-game tailgating in the parking lot of a football stadium, which I take some responsibility for embellishing. Clearly tonight was not going to be a party night. We needed to purchase our fishing licenses and then head down to Ashton, Idaho for our new cabin reservations, as we had given up on camping.
So it's feeling a little cold.
Yep. All right.
Thankfully, the weather had improved for opening day. It was still cold and windy, but at least it was sunny. We headed into the park to pay our daily fee and check out spots on the river before gearing up for a day of fishing.
Risers, and put on some stems. You know, like the dead looking mayflies? Okay, yeah.
That likes to help people. Here's one of the more gradual paths down to make it a little bit easier if you want to come out and fish here. There's also a path up a little bit further so you can go along kind of like where you see the horse fencing. So if you wanted to go out further. Right when you come in from the parking lot, it's a bit steep over there and a little hard to handle. So this is one of your good routes.
Come down the river or go up it. But that's how you can tell.
When the seagulls go after, or when the seagulls congregate, that means there's a hatch?
Yeah, they start flying around. That means there's bugs in the air.
So that guy's in the perfect spot.
Yeah, you can always tell from the birds. Looks
Interesting.
like they're setting up a tripod or something. Keep your eye on the birds. So that's a good sign. We continued to scout the river and drove back into town to the parking lot we had visited the previous night. If I zoom in, you can actually see the seagulls darting about, indicating that an insect hatch is in progress. But as you can also see, the parking area was filling up rapidly. So we elected to return back to the park's main entrance, where we had begun. There is another area, though, where fishermen can park, but this requires a mile hike into an area where there's a walking bridge that actually crosses the river.
It's cold.
You gonna smile? So here we are at the Harriman Ranch, you know, just off the Millionaire's Pool here. And we're gonna do some fishing, and Megan's gonna catch a 24-inch rainbow trout. Right, Megs? Okay.
Sure.
After scouting around, we spotted a trout rising, but we had spotted it from a rocky outcropping where there was no place where we could land the trout safely, and not to mention our safety. Our only option required my wading into this muddy embankment covered in weeds which were the only thing actually keeping me from sinking and getting stuck. Not fun. And had there been other fish rising, we would have given this one a pass. So Megan set up with her iPhone to film the trout while I practiced casting upstream, to not only get a feel for the distance, but to see if I could even reach the distance without being able to make a decent backcast, as well as to see how the current would carry my fly. I also wanted to see if I could learn what the trout was eating, as it was clearly taking insects below the surface. Another challenge was making a backcast, as not only was the embankment behind me steep, I was also sinking into the mud, so I practiced a few roll casts to see if I could get the distance and drift I would need. I hadn't seen the trout rise in a while, and was concerned that my wading in the muck and my practice casting upstream might have spooked the trout. Trout in this section of the river can be very wary of any unnatural sounds or movements. In fact, they have a reputation for being cautious. See those guys that were sitting over there? They were waiting for that.
Where'd it go? Oh, there it goes. Oh yeah, I got that on video. Yeah. Opening day. There's something there.
Clearly the trout isn't taking flies on the surface, but in that layer of water just beneath the surface, the surface film, where insects shed their husks and pop out their wings. But sometimes they get stuck in this layer, and to imitate this, I selected a nymph with what is called a trailing shuck, and as it nears the trout, to give it a little wiggle.
This fish is active.
This technique can be very effective, and I have friends who are masters at this, where they'll grease their leaders with floatant up to a few inches from their fly, selecting a nymph pattern, so that the fly sinks, but the floatant and leader keeps it in that surface film. The cast I wanted to make would be something like a 40-foot reach cast, where the leader would bend to the right and drop the fly downstream from me, but far enough upstream of the trout to not scare it. Needless to say, that isn't what happened, and I ended up putting the fish down.
I hit the range though.
I not only missed floating my fly over the sweet spot, I landed it far closer than I wanted, and as you can see, my fly didn't sink into the surface film either.
We've now waded out and we're now on the opposite side. I'm gonna try and find this fish. Okay, so how we got to the other side is we took the path all along here. We kind of came down on this hill and you were able to wade straight out. And then we kind of walked along this, though I did end up scaring a bird just on the edge. So be careful of little birds and their little nests. But then we walked along by these rocks. And now here we are. It was pretty shallow. I'm 5'4". It only came to about up to here at me at most. Though on other years it can be much deeper. But we'll see if we can catch this fish from the opposite side. What kind of things are you seeing surfacing? Oh, I can't hear you. The wind just got bad. It's a blue-winged olive.
Yeah, it looks like
Little mayflies. I have no idea if I'm saying the right thing or not. Looks like we got some guys up there scouting, seeing where they want to fish tonight, seeing what's popping.
Oh, I think I saw something.
We got an eagle flying up there.
The whitehead? Coming our way.
That's exciting.
Is that an eagle?
I'm wondering if they're too close to its nest. I think it's a little small, but it's bothered by those people.
Or it's just looking for fish.
Maybe. Okay, that was nerve-wracking. I don't think I like it when it comes in my direction. Do I need to move back further? You sure? Like, fully positive? Okay. If you say so. Well, we didn't catch anything. But we are now walking around the island on the other side, since we don't want to scare the little bird again. Not sure if it was nesting or just hiding in the tall grass. So we're coming. What?
You try a couple of casts where we're rising just for the hell of it.
Sure. Never mind, we're not leaving. I lied. Must always go back for one more cast. Dad said a good way to see what's rising is to actually look at spider webs. So I am taking a look to see if I can find any. See a few, but I don't really see any bugs here. Yeah, it looks like most of these spider webs they're cleaning them good. Can't really see anything there. But just a nice helpful tip that I kind of enjoyed. That's it. Look at all these black fly things. I don't know if you can see them, but they're everywhere. I also don't know why I'm whispering. And now they're gone. They came like a horde and they left. That was a forecast. That bird is not happy.
Ooh, what are these little bugs?
Yeah, there's tons of them. Don't open your mouth. They'll eat them.
Oh, they're everywhere. Get out of here, bugs. You don't want to walk around the other side? Might be better.
Let's take a bet. Can we see these little bugs on the camera later? Is Megan going to be right or is Dad going to be right? I'm voting you can.
All right.
Found some spider webs.
But I think the only thing in them are these little bugs. Ooh, I think I just caught one.
Caught one what?
Of the flies that are flying around. You ready?
Wait, Dad, let me see it.
It's a blue wing.
Stop moving. There we go.
Got a little yellowish body. It's a little blue wing olive.
You didn't hurt it, right?
I don't think so.
Well, now he likes you. He's coming home with you. He's your friend now.
Well, I'm gonna let him go on the grass over here, okay?
Yep. Okay, so
After all that ribbon.
we're on the other side. You see the cabins out there? You can see we're in the middle of the river. But look how shallow it is. You just wade right across. Coming in. Beautiful day.
on the hill that rise.
Yeah.
And then you see like as that ground continues, and then the pine trees and the little trees start, you know?
Yep.
Right on that corner, it's really nice and kind of rocky, and the water just goes like right by. It's a great spot for it.
What's this white thing?
I don't know, I think like that too. We're the only ones out there. Let's put this way out there.
It's a rock. Yeah, I think everyone's probably gone in for dinner, maybe.
Yeah. What is it on?
While I hadn't caught a trout, I did learn a couple of things. Megan likes working with the camera more than fly fishing. And that the next time we do this, we both need to be wearing the wireless microphones we left in the car, especially those with the little wind filter things. They reduce the noise of the wind. Before leaving the water, I thought I would try one more or several more attempts at trying to see if I could get a trout to hook up with a trout. And that was by casting this little nymph I had with the trailing shuck right near the shore where you know, some of the trout might be hanging out to pick off flies and things like that are dropping in the water, or something that's floating down in the surface fill.
Beautiful here, isn't it?
It is.
I'm really glad I was able to share fly fishing in this beautiful place with my daughter Megan in June, with the fields covered in flowers, and to top it off, a mare nursing her foal. We only had a few days left before I had to drop Megan off at the airport, and my heading back to Harriman Ranch to meet up with new friends and finally catch my first Henry's Fork rainbow.
The baby just went right underneath her.
Yeah, I really can't see too far from here.
So the next morning we stopped to view the Henry's Fork River as it plummets over Mesa Falls before fishing the Warm River. And returning from Driggs, Idaho to check out the Teton River, we stopped to watch in amazement little things like how the movement of wind is captured in Idaho's potato fields. And I have to share with you the most colorful public restroom we've ever encountered at a boat ramp parking area next to the Teton River in Driggs. So thanks for watching, and please subscribe as I finish exploring and fishing Henry's Fork of the Snake River and for future journeys with Megan, as she now tells me I'm stuck with her. Nothing I mind.